and I was like, you know what? Fuck y'all. This last 5 minutes, I ain't saying shit. And I stood there for 5 minutes.
Oh.
I was like, fuck y'all. Y'all don't deserve me.
Man.
That was the worst show I ever had. Because they tried me the entire time on some shit that I ain't had no control over. It was like, you didn't even give me a chance to let me do what I do. If you don't like my jokes, you don't like my jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to hate me for no reason, fuck you.
Yeah.
I didn't come here for that. You didn't come here for that. Or maybe you did. And if you did, you're a piece of shit.
And that's what it's like to feel like to be a teacher. That's that. Like you just described all that. I'm like, oh man, you're describing like last Tuesday. Fuck you, teacher. I'm like, hey guys, we gotta do this. But man,
Just got here.
yeah, I just got here. What, Mr. McKee? Screw you.
Chef Dyke Michael's making food, and he's making comedy too. Thaddeus J. McKee is co-hosting with the guy I mentioned previously. Sauce Boss Zach's on the 1 to 2, so good he calls them 2s and 3s. And as always, there's a guest who is sure to please on Harder Brunch.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels. With me, as always, my co-host, Thaddeus J. McKee.
I can feel it coming.
In the air tonight.
In the air tonight.
Every time we have a black guest on now, I'm paranoid. And when we play the theme song and the white rapper starts, I always look.
Yeah.
And like your eyes just went like this, like what the
yeah,
jostled around.
I was thinking I know that guy.
I did a quick glance too.
I was like, they always notice. On the 1s and 2s, the Wheels of Steel, the Sauce Boss of Indianapolis, and the Last Woke Dragon. Give it up for Zach Roan.
Hey there.
Zach, you got a microphone and headphones this week. Look at that.
I know.
It's like you're part of the show.
Yeah, it's a real operation now.
And a very special guest, first time with us in studio and on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, comedian extraordinaire, Deon Curry.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Now, Deon, you are also a prolific podcaster.
Yes. I have 3 other podcasts that I do. I'm working on a 4th one. Now That's Debatable is a Facebook Live show we do every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Me, myself, Deon Curry, Warren B. Hall, and Sydney Smith. You can join the Facebook group Now That's Debatable and be part of that podcast. We debate anything and everything, and we take comments from our live audience. Sorry We're Canceled is a podcast I do with fellow comedian BT, and we literally talk just about anything that get us canceled. And then I do the Pat Down with Miss Pat and Chris Spangle, and those podcasts usually drop on Tuesday. So
nice. And what was the new one you said you were going to do?
it's going to be a sports betting podcast. We don't have a name for it yet, so it hasn't started, but we're working on it. It should come out probably in October.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dang. So are you encouraging people to gamble as well?
No,
Okay.
we are not professional gamblers.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to be about all my bad beat stories and all his bad beat stories. Because when I first got into gambling, I had beginner's luck like a motherfucker. Like you would not believe. I was hitting on shit. I was betting on badminton and fucking volleyball, and I was crushing it, thinking I knew what the fuck I was doing. And then the luck wore off when I bet on a European basketball game. One team was plus 75. I was like, there's no way they're going to lose by 75 fucking points. It's like, there's not enough time in a game to get down by that much, you know? And they lost by 77.
Oh,
and I watched it live with 2 seconds to go. The team that was minus 75 made a layup to win by 77.
Oh my gosh.
And I have never wanted to murder an entire country. It's like, this is what Hitler felt like. You know? It's like, these motherfuckers need to go. Because you don't do that. It's professional courtesy that when you're up by so much, you don't score at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So it's just like, these motherfuckers knew I put money on it, and that's why they did that.
Yeah. They always say it could be a problem when you start sympathizing with Hitler. Like, that's when gambling starts getting bad.
Yeah, and I took a year and a half off after that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was right around the time Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and I was just like, fuck NFL, because that's what I mainly bet on. And then, you know, once once you start losing like money you need, that's when you have a fucking problem.
What was the most amount of money you've ever lost gambling?
About $300.
See,
That's a lot.
I've always been around the same amount, but it's been an entire paycheck before. Like
A whole paycheck?
yeah, I've definitely like I think twice one time I was like working at this summer camp and we went to and I had the same way. I'd won the first couple times I went to like the casino or whatever. And I went and I burned through it was like a $250 check, but I burned through it in like half an hour and then was just like, wait. Like it took me a minute to even realize what happened, you know. It was just like,
because you're like, I still got money left.
That was all my money.
And then then you reach in your pocket and you have nothing but that 7-cent slip from when you cashed out at the fucking penny slot. And you're like, oh goddamn, I'm down bad.
Yeah.
I got into craps real bad at one point, and it was like I had to have a friend sit me down. He's like, hey, you have money. You don't need to gamble. I'm like, you're right. Like
now I treat gambling like going to the movies. So I have allocated funds that I prepare to lose and hopes that I win. But if it's gone, it's fucking gone.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, you went to a shitty movie that you didn't win. Yeah. You know, so
that's a slippery slope for some people. Some people have those allocated funds and they can't stop.
Yeah. I don't have losing makes me want to stop. Like, you know, I don't have that chase the dragon type feeling. It's just like, oh fucking I knew I shouldn't have bet on you raggedy pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Like the Washington Commanders are really fucking me in the ass right now because they're getting destroyed by the Lions. I'm not even gonna put more money in my FanDuel account to try and re-up what the Commanders are costing me. Like, it's just over. Wait till next week.
Yeah.
You know, don't chase. Never ever chase. That's the number one rule in gambling. Don't fucking chase. You got to treat it like it was a bad movie, and you'll never support Woody Harrelson ever again.
Man, this is making me kind of want to gamble now. Like you kind of talk me into.
You can go like you don't have to bet a lot of money to win a lot of money. I don't bet big anymore. Those days are over. Like the most I'll put down on anything is $25. I have a limit. I set it $25, and I like to do parlays and teasers. So I'll if you don't know what that means, it's basically it's a combination bet, and then you change the point spread to make it more favorable. You lose a bit of profit, but it makes the bet easier to hit.
Okay.
And so that's what I do. I like to make big parlays so I can bet $5-10 and win $200-300. I'm not one of those crazy people who will bet $100 on this, $100 on that. You know, I made money off the Canelo Alvarez fight last night, which, you know, I'm mad at myself for not betting more because it's like, this is an easy bet. It's going to be a decision. Nobody's going to get knocked out. Canelo was minus 115. That's easy money. So you have to bet 115 to win 100. And I was like, I don't know why I didn't put down more. I knew they weren't going to knock each other out. Canelo's one of the best boxers in the world right now. This is easy fucking money.
But you're being smart because
I'm a chicken shit too. Like I'm a huge coward of betting big and losing. I don't mind losing small. I can handle that. But if I put $100 down on something and I don't win, I want to kick babies. Like it's like I get upset and frustrated and mad at myself, and I feel bad for a long time.
Yeah.
What's the most money you've ever won gambling?
$685.
See, that's why, man.
And I bet $3 on it. I was.
What?
Yeah, it was a crazy parlay in college football, and I hit. It was like one of those roller coaster things. Like, should I cash out? It was $200. Should I cash out? It's $400. I was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna let it ride. And $3 turned into $685, and I was like, dude, I was on cloud nine, man.
Oh man,
I paid bills. Didn't do anything fun with the money, but paid bills. It was like
call your parents. I became something. You said I could never do it. I did.
You have to treat it like a recreational activity and not like, you know, something that you're dependent on that money.
Right.
Because that money's never coming. You have to look at it that way. It's like that money is not yours. It's never coming. They know what they're doing when they put these numbers down. Like that, like I was telling you about the basketball league. There's a reason why they were like 75 points.
Yeah.
And my dumb ass being new to it was like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, no, that team really sucked. The other team is really good. They're going to destroy them. There's no such thing as a surefire bet.
Also, gambling's not for poor people. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely not.
Like you have to it has to be like when I see somebody like like the people at the gas station and they're dropping, you know, like you can tell they need that $100 that they're buying scratch off tickets with, but that's like someone's like retirement fund or whatever.
The odds on scratch offs are so shitty for you to actually come up that it would be much better to go on a sports website or the fucking blackjack table. Like there's better ways to gamble. If like scratch off to me is like the worst.
Yeah,
you know that's the worst idea because you're gonna spend $100 to maybe win 500 if you're lucky.
Well, for me, so I like to buy a lottery ticket, but only when the lottery's like when it gets like over like $200 million.
Yeah,
I like to buy a little lottery ticket. Sometimes I'll go in if I'm like with someone on the road. I'll buy like 2 and just be like, hey. And like, but for me, it's not even about like, oh, I think I'm going to win. It's like, I get to pay $2 or whatever it is. And then for the next like 20 minutes, I get to have this little fantasy. And I just get to live in this little pretend world about what I would do with, you know, $150 million. And like, that's it. Like I'm paying that $2 just to have that feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like a $2 for a daydream.
Yeah, it's $2 for like a little daydream. Like I feel better like 10 minutes after I buy like a big lottery ticket. Like I just feel like it puts me in a good mood.
Wow.
And then I never check them. I've never actually gone back to check to see if I
You've won 4 times.
Yeah.
Can we just do like a skit of you, like your daydream of you with a top hat and a monocle? Yeah.
Just burning money in a barrel.
Oh, that's your fantasy?
No.
That got dark. Like, why is he burning money in his fantasy?
No one can have any of this. This is my shit.
Right now, I have a $10 parlay with the payout of $11,976. It's not going to hit, but that's the type of bets that I do. It's like I swing for the fences on low
upsets. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I'm hoping to hit it big one time. That's all I need.
So now, what would need to happen in order for that to work?
So a lot of teams have to win by a certain amount of points, and right now it doesn't look that way because of the Washington Commanders. Thank you very much, Dan Snyder, you piece of shit.
So when you're not gambling, you are a professional stand-up comedian.
Yes, 17 years and counting.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think you get like probably what we get a lot that we both look younger than we
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
So,
I could still do some high school roles if I was an actor.
There you go.
Shave my beard and my mustache and.
You won Helium Comedy. What was it? 2019. 2019. 2019. Indiana's funniest comedian.
Yes.
Indianapolis. Did that do anything for you?
No, it did not.
Well, what an asshole question. And you're in our basement right now, so obviously.
No,
I'm still gambling on FanDuel.
No, this is funny to talk to people. Like we had a Comic-Con that got St. Louis's, a couple years ago, and he was just like everyone.
Max Price?
Rafe Williams.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't get Just for Laughs, and
No, but we were talking specifically. I was asking because like a lot of times comics will be like, yeah, it's great for like this and that, but like
Stepping Stone.
Yeah.
No, this was dipping a toe in the pool. That's all this was. That water's still cold. It was fun to do it. Don't get me wrong, and I just love stand up. It's my passion. I knew at an early age that I wanted to be in the entertainment industry, and when I found out what stand up actually was, I've been chasing that ever since. So, but to win the contest, I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't fair. I at that point I was a professional comedian. I was competing against people who were not on the professional level. So it wasn't like something I could be super proud of, because it's like, dude, you're supposed to win. You've been doing it longer than most of these people have, combined. So it's like, you're supposed to win, and if you don't win, then you really fucking suck. So it was the validation that, yes, I'm on the right track, but at the same time, have you seen the movie The Ringer?
yeah.
It's basically like that.
So you're calling the Indianapolis open mic comedy scene?
No, I was
mentally
saying,
handicapped.
I was saying that I have been doing comedy so much longer.
Yeah.
I had more experience than all these people in this contest. So you're supposed to win. Now, every contest that I've done where the comics have been on my level, you didn't hear my name called. So it's like, if I go down to the JV, I'm supposed to be averaging 30. You know, LeBron's supposed to dominate the WNBA.
I'll tell you what.
Not that I'm LeBron or anything.
I got to the semifinals last year. No, I think it was the one before the semifinals, and I was so confident, and I had such a hot set that they were calling off names, and I just started walking towards the stage, and they did not call my name. And I was like, man, they named off 2 names already. That's crazy. I guess I'm going to be third, though. And then they called someone else's name, and I had to do like a quick turnaround in the hallway.
Yeah, let me tie my shoe real quick. Yeah, I've been there before. I did a contest down in Evansville. I was telling Thaddeus this earlier. Down in Evansville at this place called the Prickly Pear that no longer exists, thank God. And we drive down, me and a couple other comics, my buddy Johnny Kraft, and his roommate at the time was this dude named, what the fuck was this? I don't know if you guys ever, like he still does, well, I think he's in jail now, but he's like a pedophile. Like,
shout out.
And we should have known because the dude would dress like a magician. Like all the time. It's like anybody who dresses like a magician to do stand up is probably diddling kids, or at least sliding in their DMs. You know? Like so we all drive down there and we stop at Paoli Junction, Indiana, which is, you know, just a shithole, racist. We have to get gas, and so you go in the gas station one way and you exit out the other, right? Because the gas station is on the other. It was weird. So we go in, we get snacks. I'm about to go pay for gas, and the clerk doesn't even look up. Just old racist white lady. Just imagine what an old racist white lady looks like, and this is what this lady looks like. Her teeth do not touch. Yeah, and so.
Yep.
The TV's on, and my buddy Johnny goes, "You guys get BET?" She's like, "What's that?" She doesn't look up. He's like, "It's Black Entertainment Television." She goes, "We don't get black anything."
Oh.
And I'm standing at the counter, and she hasn't looked up at me, and so she looks up, and when I tell you her face does not change, she's like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I said it." It was one of those. I was like, "Can I get 25 on 3?" She's like, "You can get out of here." I was like, all right, I will do that. So they buy the gas. I leave. You go out, and the entire wall is a giant Confederate flag of this gas station. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
She's still mad about the war.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't me per se.
Yeah, she's like, it's not you thing. I think Lincoln just kind of.
Yeah, it's fucking Northern aggression.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Indiana, who fought for the Union, but whatever. So Johnny is allergic to mustard, and they had these mystery flavored Doritos, and the mystery flavor was fucking mustard. He didn't read the ingredients. He starts eating these Doritos, and then his fucking throat swells up. He turns red. He's having this major allergic reaction.
This is the magician?
No, this is the other comic.
Okay.
The magician was just doing magician things, like being weird. And he was super tall too. He was like 6'8".
Oh, you can't.
It's like. You've never seen a tall magician in your life.
I mean, even being a tall pedophile would be kind of difficult. No one wants to be.
It was him.
It's like, that's not your big brother. We can tell. Like, y'all don't look anything alike. So he's eating the Doritos, having an allergic reaction as we're driving down Evansville, and it's just things are not going well. We get to the show. Johnny can't perform because he can't fucking breathe. Like his voice is gone. His throat's. He doesn't have his EpiPen, so he's just struggling. Right. And he was like, I don't want to go to the hospital because you guys have the show. We're like, yeah, the show must go on. Fuck you. We don't care. Me and the magician might win this thing. The magician has a terrible set because he's a fucking magician. I do really, really well. Like really well, to the point where at the end of the show, right before they announced the winners, the 2 of the 3 judges came and shook my hand and was like, congratulations, you did a great job. So I'm really thinking I won this thing. They're like, to announce the winner, and it's like Stone. And I was walking towards the guy and I was like, what? And he had a little trophy that said best comic on it. And that's what really made me mad, was the fact that he got a trophy saying he was better than me. It wasn't the fact that his cousin was one of the judges.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fact that I drove 3 hours to come down to this shitty Prickly Pear. One of my buddies almost dying, and you know, the racist lady at Paoli Junction was like, this motherfucker got a trophy and $300. So we go to the casino next door on the boat, and I put $20 in, and I literally lose $19.95 in like 3 minutes. Like just, I'm shitty. My last nickel, I put it in a nickel slot, and I won $120 something. And And I was like, oh, this trip wasn't that bad.
Yay.
So
Nice.
yeah,
That's a good turnout.
yeah. And Johnny didn't die, so that was great.
Yeah.
Johnny didn't die, and the magician went to jail. Everybody ended up living happily
Yeah.
ever after. You got and he's funniest.
Stone's
years
never
later.
done comedy ever again.
No, he
So,
sucks.
You piece of shit.
We hate Stone.
Do you have pretty good crossover between like white and black rooms?
It was a skill I had to learn.
Yeah. Which way?
The hard way.
Okay.
The only way that you really do learn lessons is it's one of those things where there's niggas and there's black people, obviously, right? Chris Rock had this very famous bit, and black people will give you benefit of the doubt. Niggas want their shit on time, and you can never be on time for niggas because niggas is always late. So it's like if you're not giving them what they want immediately, if they see you and you're not what you want them to, if they're not what you want them to be, they're like, nah, we're not fucking with you, right? So I had to learn that double dutch where you come out the gate hot, you know, because I'm not a very animated comedian. I'm not. So it was one of those things where I had to learn through talking to comics who mainly did black rooms, and it's like, now you got to come out the gate fast. You got to have one in the chamber ready to go in case somebody tries you. It was a repetition thing where I had to go and get my licks, and you know, white audiences, they are much more. Oh, that was a good try. For niggas, it's like, yo, you and your mama need to die. And it's like, damn, bro, I'm just trying to tell jokes. It's like, nah, fuck all that. You wasting my time, you piece of shit. And it's like, why? It be your own people sometimes.
I'm gonna count to 3. Like you have 3 seconds to get off stage.
I tell you, the worst show I ever did in my entire life. I was filling in for Miss Pat in Columbus, Ohio. It was a Thursday night black show. It was Chocolate Thursday at the Columbus Funny Bone, and it was hosted by the local radio DJ. And Pat couldn't do it, so she was like, "I'm gonna get you in." I drive 2.5 hours to Columbus, and the first comic goes up and he does just enough to not be hated by these people, right? But his last joke, I had the perfect tag. I was going to ride the wave. I was like, oh, he set me up perfectly. This is going to work for me. Because I knew I wasn't going to do well. I knew as soon as I walked in that room, I was like, the show was supposed to start at 10 o'clock. It didn't start till 12. It's Thursday. These people have to go to work tomorrow. They're fucking drinking.
Yeah.
And they're niggas. It's like, I know these people ain't gonna like my photosynthesis joke. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. So I'm like, I'm gonna ride this wave and I'm gonna catch the vibe. So I'm thinking I'm about to go right up after him, and they have a karaoke contest. A acapella karaoke contest for concert tickets. In the middle of a goddamn comedy show. What? And it's volunteers from the crowd. So we need volunteers. So at first, nobody wants to do anything. So it's like, you already killed the vibe. It's like, come on, ladies. Because it was like Genuine tickets or some shit like that. And no dude wanted to go to this show. It was so they get these 2 ladies, and neither one of them can fucking sing, right? But they go, this is how we're going to judge this contest. Everybody pull out your keys. And if they can't sing, I want you to shake your keys. So just imagine a room full of 300 niggas, all with their keys out. And these 2 untalented women singing off-key, a cappella, Genuine songs. My pony, let's do it. Ching-a-ling, 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 ching-a-ling. And I'm sitting backstage like, why would you do that to the talent, right? Like, have an intermission. Gary Owen was the headliner that night. I was supposed to do 15 minutes. I walk out on stage. All right, we're going to start the show. He didn't do any no jokes, no setup, nothing. It's just me, keys. Here's your tickets, bitch. The next comic coming to the stage, and I walk out on stage to nothing but a room full of people just shaking their keys.
Okay.
And I'm like, I ain't even said nothing yet, and y'all already hate my guts. So I get to my first joke and fucking ching, ching, ching. And I got 7 minutes in and I fucking snapped. I was like, fuck all y'all. It's Thursday. You bitches got to go to work tomorrow. I don't have to go to work. I already got paid. Fuck you. You can't sing. And I'm just going off. Like, and then the host comes. He's like, you don't need to do 15. I was like, fuck this 15 minutes. I'll never come back to here. And I've never been back to Columbus, Ohio since.
Yeah.
It was the worst.
Oh my God.
Absolutely the worst.
I don't think non-comedy people realize there is something about comedy that's magic, right? I think there is something about like, and I'm not like a woo-woo person, but there is something about tone, about lighting, about mood, about vibes, about energy. And you know, is like the difference between doing comedy in a bright room versus turning. People don't want to be seen laughing, right?
Right.
You turn the lights down. You set up all these things so then somebody can come up on stage, and you are kind of doing this invocation by making people involuntarily laugh with your words. So, like, having a fucking key jingling karaoke giveaway. But people don't think about that when they're not in comedy. They're just like, yeah, no, the comic's going to go up there and say the funny thing.
The club allowed this to happen because this night made them liquor money, right? They didn't give a shit if the show was great or not. They had the club doesn't fucking care. Just get asses in the seat and let them buy drinks, right? So, in that regard, I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
And the fact that...
You were just a warm body.
Yeah, they were like, they didn't know me from Adam. Miss Pat vouched for me because I had worked with her before. But I knew what I was getting into when I agreed to it. But I was hoping, against all hope, that maybe these niggas would give me a chance. Yeah. And then when the keys came out, that's when I was like, yeah, you're an idiot. You should have said no to this. Because there's nothing worse than getting booed by keys. At least with the vocalization, you know, you can tell they're paying attention. Niggas just had their keys out, was doing the thing because of those women couldn't sing. And it's like, and I'm sure that the comics that went after me fucking roasted me, but I literally walked off stage, got into my car, and drove the 2.5 hours crying and being mad. Because I was so upset with myself for letting them get to me like that.
Was that your worst comedy experience ever?
Second worst.
What was the worst?
Cleveland, Ohio.
I feel like there's a pattern here with Ohio.
I hate Ohio so fucking much. Cincinnati's cool. Yeah. But Northern Ohio can eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Like, I'm saying, I don't want. I might be there next week, so just a shout out.
It was Cleveland. So the Warriors had just beat LeBron and them in the finals, right? My last name's Curry, so they thought I was related to this nigga for some reason. And they didn't tell it. The second show had started, but they didn't tell us. Normally they had been telling us all week the second show's about to start, right? So that you be ready. I'm featuring. I'm back in the green room chilling with Miss Pat. And they had started the show. The MC went on. And this nigga's calling my name. I didn't even know the show started. So I walk out. Like, my bad, y'all. They didn't fucking tell me the show started. I didn't know this nigga did it time. And they're, boo! I'm like, what the fuck you booing me for? Curry! I'm like, I don't know that nigga. Like, why are you... I ain't even said nothing. It's like... So it had already started bad, right? I'm trying to get through my set. Like, the people in the front are paying attention, but everybody else in the back is like, they had gotten in on free tickets. They've been drinking. They was on some nigga shit. And so one dude just starts fucking heckling me. And I'm trying to ignore it. I'm like, I'm just gonna talk to these people. This is not my show. I don't really care. Like, it's not gonna bother me. But I took a breath and he said, you so skinny we can see your heartbeat through your chest. And a room full of people laughed at that, and that just, it pissed me off. I was like, yeah, because I'm alive, bitch-ass nigga. Why don't you come up in the light and say that shit to me? Like, I snapped, and the crowd goes, oh, and I was like, fuck that. Oh, this nigga's a coward. He's in the back shouting out in the dark. I say anybody can do that, especially that bitch-ass nigga. Why don't you come up here in the light and try to be funny? I was like, if you think you're better at this than me, bring your ass up here. And the crowd's going, oh, and I was like, fuck all that. Oh, I said, this is the shit I'm talking about. I go, I see why LeBron left this raggedy bitch. I was like, you live in Cleveland. I'm here getting paid. My life is up 10 times better than yours. You got in at a free comedy show and you heckling a nigga in the back. I was like, come on up here. And he was like, I'll fuck you up. I was like, not up here you won't, because you a bitch ass nigga hiding in the back. And the crowd's like getting on my side, and I'm starting to feel myself. And I was like, you know what? Fuck y'all. This last 5 minutes, I ain't saying shit. And I stood there for 5 minutes. Oh. I was like, fuck y'all. Y'all don't deserve me.
Man.
That was the worst show I ever had. Because they tried me the entire time on some shit that I ain't had no control over. It was like, you didn't even give me a chance to let me do what I do. If you don't like my jokes, you don't like my jokes. Yeah. You know what I mean? But to hate me for no reason... Fuck you.
Yeah.
I didn't come here for that. You didn't come here for that. Or maybe you did. And if you did, you're a piece of shit.
And that's what it's like to feel like to be a teacher. That's that. Like you just described all that. I'm like, oh man, you're describing like last Tuesday. Fuck you, teacher. I'm like, hey guys, we gotta do this. But man,
Just got here.
yeah, I just got here. What, Mr. McKee? Screw you. But yeah, man, that sucks.
It was just one of those things. Like afterward, I was just like, why'd I let them get to me like that? Why did we as a group tolerate this dude's behavior? Of all the people in the room who could leave, I was the only one who couldn't. I was contractually obligated to be there.
Yes.
If you don't like my shit, go out into the lobby, bro.
Yeah.
Go take a piss. Like, I have to stay up here.
Yeah. Drop out.
It's like, yo, I can't leave, fam. This isn't Columbus.
Let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with more Deon Curry. Gen Z can't stop raving about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Patreon.com/Harder Brunch slaps.
No cap, the Harder Brunch Podcast is bussin' on God.
Move over, boomer. Gen Z's here to talk to you about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Harder Brunch Podcast on Patreon, $3 a month, low-key a steal.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass has me bricked up every day.
Listen to these all totally real testimonials.
No, like, I'm getting paid to do this, don't worry. Yeah. No, you think I do this for free? No.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass slaps. Sound younger! The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass slaps.
Just go to patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
The Patreon After Brunch Podcast hits different. That shit makes you feel shit.
And we're back on the Harder Brunch Podcast.
You weren't wearing them earlier.
Talking to Deon Curry. The glasses do remind me of so we did a sketch on the After Brunch one time with those glasses.
Yeah.
And Thad put these on.
That was a terrible throw. I'm not athletic.
And did a character called Johnny Cardiovascular Eyes.
Yeah.
And we did it with
Cardi V. Cardi V, everybody.
We did it with Katie Hetledge, who's got like a long time like improv background, and I've never seen somebody just more unimpressed with the bit.
It wasn't good.
Well, the bit wasn't good, but her reaction to it, oh man, it was the most begrudgingly I've ever seen someone yes and an entire thing.
Yeah, like kind of like, sure.
I love it. I love Johnny Cardiovascular Eyes.
Well, but his thing is he doesn't have a thing. Yeah, that's his whole character. Like, I don't know, I got hearts on my eyes. Anyways, done.
All right, so we were talking on the break. We started talking about the food, which was get into. But normally we have a theme, and when I talked to you, you let me know that you didn't really. You were kind of a picky eater, is what you said.
Yeah.
Or specific. I don't know.
I would say unadventurous. You know, I like what I like.
Yeah.
And I don't want to try new shit.
Which is cool. You know what? I appreciate the honesty.
But here's the thing, though. Like, it's not that like, if I go to a restaurant, it's one of those things where I don't know the chef, so I don't give a fuck about his feelings, right? You know, and you were asking me all these questions about what I like and what I don't like, and I'm like, I don't want to make this man make something I know I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, so when I said you can pretty much do whatever, because I don't eat that much. Like I probably eat once a day, if that. I snack, but I never ever have an appetite. Like I'm never hungry unless I get super high, and then I'm like, yeah, let's go to Denny's. But my entire life, you know, during the pandemic, I was fucking eating Burger King, steak and shit, like nothing healthy, and I gained maybe like 6 pounds.
Okay.
And I was doing that shit every day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know that sounds shitty.
Yeah.
When a skinny guy's like, I can't fucking gain weight. Like,
things are tough all over, man. I've always said that.
This is a food podcast. You don't think we have one overbeast? Can I pick two? You don't think we have one obese, overweight person?
Look, man, I would trade with you in a heartbeat.
Wait, with me?
Yeah.
Why'd you have to call me out?
Because you were bringing it up.
I wasn't saying I was saying there might be some people that the doctor's saying, hey, let's bring that BMI down. I wasn't saying me.
I do remember you saying, don't get my gut. So
okay, well. right. Let me put these back on.
I do like the term overbeast. I'm going to say that from now on. Well, I am a little overbeast, if you know what I'm saying.
Is that over obese?
It's a real problem. Now it's everyone's problem. It's like the plane's going to be delayed. But yeah, but like, and as we said off mic earlier, we've had people on that didn't give me this information, and then I just made a bunch of food that they didn't want to eat. So I feel like you took a good college try at everything.
I did, and I've got this to go box, and I am gonna finish everything. I never ever eat before noon, ever.
Okay.
So it's I haven't ate breakfast since like I was probably 8 years old.
Oh, dang.
I just don't do breakfast. I'm a night owl. I'm a comic, so I'm always eating shitty bar food. And so when somebody's like, I'm going to cook for you, and then they fucking make a real meal, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
the least I could do is give it a college try. But it was actually very, very good. And I had heard that you were a legitimate chef from other people who have done the show. So I think
they've been illiterate. Go ahead. Sorry.
that wouldn't
Can you hit the boo button for that? I feel like everybody's being nice. Thank you. Thank you.
I love that movie, by the way. But no, like the food was legitimately good. What the fuck? Was that your dog?
Yeah, that was a dog.
Cody be sneezing like a real nigga in here. This dude's dog sounds like a human when he fucking sneezes. When I first came down here, he was over here, and I was like, "Who is that?"
Yeah, Cody's a different
You
type
ever
of
said
dog.
"bless you" to a dog?
Yeah.
So, my nigga, you might need to go to the doc. Fuck the vet, bro. You need a human to. Cardiovascular eyes.
Doctor cardiovascular.
Can you hit the shame button? This shame button. I got a shame.
Shame.
Thank you. I got a shame for Cody. Cody tried to come in my room the other night and sleep in my room. Now the door is open. I'm like, maybe he needs to go to the bathroom. Dyke's passed out snoring in his room, and his door is open. So I'm like, why is he scratching on my door? So I'm like, I let him out. He does not go on the grass. He just looks at me like, this isn't what I want. And so I like go back to my room, and he starts scratching again. He's like, I'm trying to sleep in your room. Like, what is going on? I feel like Cody's like cheating on Dyke in this situation. And I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. And I step outside. I see Dyke, he's snoring, and he's got the TV on probably 100 with Rick and Morty. And then he's like, you see what I'm dealing with? Cody just kind of looks at me like, I can't sleep with this shit. So shame on Cody for betraying his number one partner.
That was the first like boomerang shame. I think it was a shame on Cody, but I feel like it was really a shame on me.
Yeah. No one could sleep last
Turn
night.
the TV down.
I like it was like he was passed out snoring or asleep. Some people call that asleep. It sounds like I beat my wife and kids. They collapsed.
There's blood everywhere. Chill on the Rick and Morty.
After a long day of bludgeoning the wife.
So it is kind of funny too, because like we have kind of painted ourselves into a corner here where we have these themes every week, and sometimes the themes get a little phoned in, and sometimes we really swing for the fences on stuff. But like this week's theme was just like food I hope Deon likes. And so like I was at work, and like people are like, oh, what's the theme this week? And I was like, well, let me tell you. Theme is
I did like everything.
I hope we hit it out of the park.
I didn't gamble with the spicy ketchup because I don't do spicy, and my digestive tract is one of those things where I don't process spice, so it's just hot in and hot out. There's no nuance of flavor. It's just hot, unnecessarily burn intestines and butthole, and I don't need that in my life. So
no one does.
If you got any McDonald's ketchup packets for I can take on the road for the hash browns, that would be fantastic.
We did an after brunch, which you can find at patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
Yeah,
it's our comedy show that we do after this, and we did one where we had consequences, and this comedian Derek James had brought these. It's like the world's hottest chip or whatever.
The Packy Challenge.
Yeah, and it was, but like whatever the thing was, it was like you could choose. It was like choose the form of the destructor. It was like you could either get an electric shock or you could eat the spicy thing. And I'm real afraid of electricity.
A dog collar.
It was a dog shock collar. It got real like zoo radio like 2005 in here.
Do I want to be paralyzed forever or eat a spicy chip?
And so I went. I was like, they were all taking the electric shocks, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah,
like
fuck that.
I'll eat the chip. And it was bad for like an hour and it was bad for like 45 minutes. But the next day, it was bad for an hour and a half.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, have you ever seen that clip of the news reporters? They do the spicy chip challenge. It's a white guy and this Ethiopian black chick who's been eating spicy food since before she had teeth.
No.
She's eating this chip, man, and it is like, she's like, that's hot. And then nothing. Like, she has no reaction. And the other guy, the white guy, he's sweating from his pores. He's turning red. He's like, I'm not gonna drink. He's like, this isn't bothering you at all. She's like, no, I'm used to this. I've been eating spicy food since I was a baby. And he's like, no, this has got to be doing something to you. She's licking her fingers. He's like, it's not that bad. And they have to like stop the show. He has to go to the hospital. It's freaking ridiculous. I was like, I don't do spice, man.
Was like the dude that hosts Hot Ones. Like,
yeah, he eats that every episode.
And he's always like, no, it burns me too. And I'm like, fuck you, it doesn't. Like, I'm watching DJ Khaled melt over here.
Yeah, man.
You know, like,
there's not enough milk. Did you see Maya Anderson's episode?
No.
Is that her name?
Maya Rudolph?
Maya Rudolph.
Okay, I definitely didn't see her.
She mixed milk and beer together.
Is that a way
I don't know
to
if
do
it was a bit that she was doing or she was just like that affected by the heat. But that shit made me want to throw up.
Zach, can we get some milk and beer? Can we do that for?
I mean, I've got some at home, but I didn't think you guys wanted any.
Yeah,
we have milk and beer here.
Can we try milk and beer on the after brunch?
I mean, you can, sure.
All right, guys, I'm going to try milk and beer, a full glass of milk and beer on the after brunch. And if I do it, Dyke's going to do it. That's one of our rules.
I just feel like that just seems like it's going to turn into projectile vomiting. I don't know.
Well, do you think people would want to go to the after brunch to see you do that?
Yeah.
I kind of want to.
So you will do it?
I won't do it, but I'll watch.
That was just me by myself.
No, it's just you now. Zach, would you do it on the after brunch?
Yeah, I'll do it after you.
Well, after what? After us?
Yeah, after you guys.
So you want to do a single one?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Whatever. Okay, milk and beer and the after brunch, guys.
So that's okay.
My bad for getting you into that, Dyke. I'm
it's
sorry.
all right. We did bacon potato bombs. It was smoking goose bacon with smoked Gouda cheese wrapped around a potato,
which was very delectable.
And then you had a salmon dish, Zach.
Yeah, I made a breakfast sandwich with everything bagel and flaked salmon, and then a dill and cream cheese spread, and there were some pickles that I made, and then red onions on it.
Very, very good.
I gotta say, I'm not huge into fish. Like I like seafood, but like fish, I'm not huge into, and I really enjoyed that. Like I was even like eating the salmon by itself.
Yeah, it wasn't even smoked salmon.
No, it wasn't smoked. It was just regular salmon.
Yeah. Smoked salmon's my favorite, and I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. That's what I thought.
Is that how you started at the table?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, this is gonna suck.
Guys, this is gonna suck. This isn't smoked. I like warned everybody, but then it was actually really good. So nice job.
At least it wasn't oily. I know how that does you.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
And then, and how do you feel about onion? Because I was like, I feel like onion's a gamble.
I like onion. I can do it raw. I can do it grilled. Onions are not bad.
Okay, I wasn't sure, so we did take it was instead of bangers and mash, it was bangers and hash. So just Italian sausage with hash brown, and then the last one, which was a pork chop Manhattan. I don't know. Have you ever had that before, Zach?
No, I didn't. Did you get that from somewhere?
No.
Yeah, no. I don't think anybody has.
Okay.
They don't have that in Manhattan.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. That was probably my favorite thing. Those
really
pork
good.
chops were really good.
Well, he did say mashed potatoes and green beans, so I was like, I was trying to think of a fun way. Typically on this show, vegetables don't get a lot of high praise. I put peas on a dish one time, and our old co-host bitched about it for 3 weeks. He was like, there was peas in everything. I was like, dude, I made peas one time in 2 years.
Well, dude, okay, bitch is a strong word. Not many people like peas.
I don't know anybody who likes peas.
Yeah. In the show this room, there's 1,000 people in this room. Raise your hand if you like peas. 0 people.
Yeah, no, Dyke's an asshole for that one.
Well, I didn't realize this was going to turn into an anti-pea podcast.
Yeah.
Peas taste like depression. Peas taste like depression feels. That's like, oh, I want to eat depression today. Yay. I'm going to be sad for the rest of my life. That's what the flavor of a pea is, fucking sadness.
Like a fresh pea?
Yes, go. Yeah.
Like
Any
a fresh
pea.
pea.
Any pea. If I walked in on someone just eating peas by themselves, I'd be like, something's wrong. Like, hey, do you need me to call somebody? You okay?
That the gray matter of peas is so
Hey,
disgusting.
you get gray peas?
Any kind of pea, but that's the main pea that I think of.
The gray pea?
Yeah, when you bite it into a pea and it's gray in the middle, because it tastes like.
Oh, the gray in the middle.
Yeah, it tastes like sadness. It's just like, oh, your mom died.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I was going to have to walk this lonely road alone.
Yeah, man.
But if you're...
Are you happy about peas?
If you're... I mean, I stand with peas. I feel like I'm on the right side of history here.
I'm going to be honest, I like peas. I kind of just wanted to watch everybody gang up on you.
All right. So
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to be like, I don't understand. Like, I understand that people don't like peas, right? But, like, it's not so bad that, like, I feel like defending them is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a vegetable.
They're the gross deficient of a lima bean. Like, they're the cousin of the lima bean.
I like lima beans.
You like lima beans, too?
I feel like certain vegetables got disparaged in the 80s. I remember, like...
in the 80s?
Like, Brussels,
the crack era?
Like Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts growing up, every cartoon...
They suck.
Everything was just like, Brussels sprouts are fucking delicious.
No, they're not.
You have a roasted Brussels sprout with some bacon on it. Are you kidding me? Like
Brussels sprouts taste like being laid off.
Laid off.
Like, you just worked an 8-hour day and they're like, yeah, we can't pay you. Go home forever. So that's what Brussels sprouts taste like to me.
This brunch could have gone a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't put those.
It could have been Brussels sprouts and peas on everything.
I'd have pulled a Willy. I'm not eating
Just
that.
flip the table over.
What the fuck is this? How dare you insult me this
But
way?
you specifically said that one of the first things you said was you liked green beans.
I do love green beans.
And so...
they're probably the only vegetable that I would...
They're in the pea family, though.
Yeah, but they don't taste like sadness. If you get a nice crisp green bean that snaps and is fresh, that tastes like healing. Whereas peas and Brussels sprouts taste like child abuse. It's just like, oh, this is not a good thing in my mouth.
I think we need to go deeper in how you ingest it.
I like how every vegetable has like a different Magic the Gathering spell attached to it.
There's a correlation to your childhood trauma in every vegetable you eat.
Tomatoes taste like being locked in a closet, burned with fucking hot iron.
Black-eyed peas taste like black eyes feel. It's just like, this is disappointment from my father.
So I was like, well, and that's the thing too. I do also think that a lot of times these connotations that people have to certain vegetables are and how they were traditionally presented, especially during childhood. So it's like, if you don't like the canned version of something, sometimes like the fresh, organic version tastes completely different.
It's funny because I love raw carrots, but if you cook them, they make me gag. I cannot. The texture, the smell, it literally makes me want to throw up. I'll eat raw carrots all day long, no problem. But you cook them, and broccoli's the same way. I can eat broccoli raw, no problem. But if it's cooked,
don't like it
instantly, I can't do it. I don't know. That's weird.
I'm almost the opposite. I prefer cooked to the raw versions of both those. I could eat it raw, but I'm never going to fully enjoy it.
I'm one of those people who's like, ooh, they got raw carrots with the ranch.
Like
that's my shit.
Yeah, like I'll do raw carrot and ranch is just a vehicle to get ranch in my mouth. Like it's just like, I mean, I will inadvertently eat this carrot, but
I'm a real raw dog. I like it raw, and I like
baby,
it
I
cooked.
like some raw.
Yeah, that's what they call me in high school. Raw
dog
bikini.
Ted.
No, raw dog bikini.
Raw dog bikini. I forgot.
But
about
like meaning like I'll eat it raw, I'll
Yeah.
eat it cooked. Zach made this great cooked carrot. You put it with a dessert. Carrot. It wasn't a carrot cake, but it was sugared carrot. What was it?
Yeah, it was with a carrot cake.
Okay, well, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, no, I roasted the
You know,
carrot. Yeah.
you know we're live. You didn't have
Ain't
to
no
diss me
editing
like
this
that.
out, bro. What are you doing?
You didn't have to diss me like that.
Shotgun right to
I
the
was trying to
temple.
lift you up. You saw what I was doing. All right, whatever.
I'll tell you this, man. One time when I was in culinary school, they had this student-run restaurant, and like I'd always go because it was like pretty cheap. Like you go and get like a gourmet meal for like $15 or whatever. But it was like the students running it. The students were cooking the food, the wait staff, like everything.
Right.
And it was like in the one of the pyramids, like the top of the pyramids in Indianapolis. And I remember one time they had like this, it was like some sort of carrot cake, but it was pea ice cream. It was peas and carrots was the theme. And they made pea ice cream. And it was so
Why would you
good.
do that to ice cream?
It was so good. I feel like you guys are missing
No,
out.
that's like upsetting. Like we just had like I know I don't want to make fun of a holiday. Never mind, I'm not going to go there.
You speak on it.
Nope. I'm just saying there's natural disasters have happened that had that.
Oh, now you're showing your reference for 9/11.
Okay, I'm not going into 9/11. I told you I wouldn't.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
you?
I'm just saying, hearing a pea ice cream makes me sad, and I haven't been that sad in months. Specifically 2 months.
It's good.
Gross.
It's
Would
not.
you eat it?
No.
Would you try it?
No. And I would be offended if someone offered me as such. I would whip out a dueling glove and we would.
You slap them.
Yeah. What are you doing? Why?
Sir, I demand satisfaction.
I feel like they don't do that in other countries. You know, America, we play with our food so fucking much because we got so much of it. But you're not getting pea flavored ice cream in Rwanda. You know what I mean? It's like they're not doing that. Nobody has time to be a jackass with the food. You know what I mean? It's like we have TV, we have a whole network dedicated to fucking around with food.
Yeah.
Dinner Impossible. I wonder if I can make 18,000 fucking shrimp titties for the mayor. It's like, what are you why are you doing this?
You are right. Like in third world countries, I'm not saying Rwanda is, but like I'm just saying in different countries.
Guys, welcome back to the roast of Rwanda.
Take that.
I love that movie with Don Cheadle.
I'm just saying they're not like doing a lot of. It's rude. You're not doing a lot of experiments with.
Nah, man.
Yeah,
They're
with-
eating what they
yeah.
can get their hands on, and we're out here like, ooh, I wonder if I could put this carrot in a sorbet and shove it up
Yeah.
a macaroon's ass. Like,
Yeah.
why are you doing that?
And like it does kind of piss me off now that you say that. Like we do have. I'm not saying this for a joke or I know we're on a comedy podcast, but we have poop flavored ice cream shit. Like did you see that? Like we have like Harry Potter to like vomit flavored gummy bears.
Yeah,
or whatnot.
it's a game.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
literally
game.
a game where you buy these jelly beans, and one of them's popcorn, the other one is urine, and it's
Yeah.
like,
I have seen that. Yeah.
who's taste testing urine jelly beans? It's like, nope, that doesn't taste quite like this. Like, whoa, why is that a thing here? Freedom is great to a certain extent, and then you need somebody to be like, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's like America, man. Get your shit together. Yeah. Pea flavored ice cream and piss flavored jelly beans for a gag. It's like these people are starving all over the world, and we're like, I wonder if I can make a shit flavored cake.
Yeah. That's someone's job too. Like, honey, how was the job? Like, they're not getting the pea flavor right. That's his only job.
It's gonna be a tough week, babe. I am putting in overtime to get that vomit taste just right.
This is not worth $100,000.
It's like, no, it's stupid.
So I feel like we skated a very fine line with serving you food, and I stuck the landing.
You nailed it. Yes.
And now I'm seeing like how
Even the German judge is proud of it.
I was saying like I was like 2 peas away from the catastrophe.
I would have let you hear it too. on all my other podcasts. I wouldn't have said it to you, so it would have never gotten back to you because you have more listeners than me. But like, it was great. I posted everything on Instagram, and I've got a bunch of people going, "Oh, why wasn't I invited?" I'm like, "Because you live 2,000 miles away. That's why I didn't invite you."
Yeah, you should write. Yeah, your friends that like food over. They would have. You could have.
Do I look like a guy who has friends that like food?
No.
Thank you, Thad. I don't. No.
How you were talking about earlier about doing comedy with Miss Pat and doing a podcast. How did you get hooked up with Miss Pat?
It was at an open mic at Morty's 17 plus years ago. Literally, she walked in. She's the only black woman. I'll never forget that she had this short, shitty wig. Like, if you look at her wigs back then versus her wigs now, it's like, oh my God, you really got your life together. like these were Indianapolis wigs you were wearing. You're rocking Atlanta wigs now. It's like there's a stark difference. But she was the comic before me when I first met her at the open mic, and she fucking crushed. She got a standing ovation from like 13 people, which is damn near impossible. Like, it's so hard to make a small group of people laugh like gangbusters, and she fucking crushed. And I spent my 5 minutes going, man, I shit, y'all could have gave her my fucking time because I wanted to hear more. Like, she was just really funny. And then we started hanging out afterward. And then the club owner hated us both, so we kind of bonded over that because we were funnier than him. And he used to get booed all the time by black crowds, and black crowds didn't really hate us that much. They loved her. They, sometimes they rock with me, sometimes they didn't. But they always hated him. Like, they used to throw spitballs at him, and I would have to clean it because I worked at the club. So after the show was over, I'd have to go sweep up all these fucking comment card spitballs that they threw in at this guy. And then people would call the club, "Who's headlining this week?" "Oh, it's our owner." And they're like, yeah, we'll wait till next week to use our free tickets." It was that type of shit. So we bonded over it being mutually hated. And she's always been funny, and she respects me, and I've helped her, and she's helped me, and that's how we've been friends for all this time.
I want to know who this owner is.
I can say his name, Eric Shorts. Just fuck him. What's he gonna do to me? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but I'm on your side.
He was a giant. He was a hater, man. Like, he was one of those type of people where, you know how you're black, that you know how black people do, where it's like you're in a room full of white people and you want the white people to like you, so you kind of hate on the nigga like they do in order to fit in. And it's like, bro, you don't have to do that. They will like all of us. But he was that type of dude to where, his business partner was his childhood friend, and his dad was like the main money of the club. So, like, I'll never forget this. Pat had been doing like more and more guest spots or whatever, and D.L. Hughley was running late to headline, and so Pat was just there hanging out, and the dad was like, "We need to get somebody on stage," and Eric was like, "I'll go," and he's like, "Nah, put her up," and he was like, "Are you sure? I don't think that's a good idea." He's like, "No, I want to watch her while we wait for DL to get there." And so Pat went up, and she's just fucking crushing. And the owner's dad is just belly laughing, just having a great, she's the fucking greatest, blah, blah, blah. And he's over there fucking stewing because he wanted that validation that she was getting. And that hate in his heart just drove him to be just an evil piece of shit. Like, I remember him telling her, "You'll never be good enough for my 7 o'clock crowd." It's like, you don't say that to somebody, even like he had no reason to do that other than to just be hateful, because she hadn't earned that hate from him. It was like she was just doing her shit. It's not her fault that people resonate with her story. It might not be your cup of tea of comedy, but you don't have that right to be in that position to fucking, just be a dick to somebody like that. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna say I'm not for hate, but I will say this. It's the same.
Historically, you have been.
I'm not for hate, but I think hate makes you grow. Like, in comedy, hate is like
you know what it did?
Miracle Grow.
It put fire in her heart. She was like, I'm gonna make you need me. Because you have something that I need, and in order to get it, I have to deal with your shitty ass. But there's no way you can stop me from doing this because everybody else is gonna love me so much. And that's literally what happened. It's like everybody at Morty's fucking loved Miss Pat, from the staff to the crowds to the owner. So he couldn't deny her even if he wanted to, because if he did,
he'd look like an asshole.
I mean, he looked like that anyway, but like people would know, like, why aren't you giving her? So she ended up getting her own show there, and you know, she was keeping the lights on in that motherfucker. He wasn't paying her shit.
Who's the worst celebrity you've ever met?
Ari Spears.
I love how quick that was.
Point blank, hands down.
I wish we could get like a timer. Like,
I felt like I didn't even need to let him with the answer.
I didn't even need to let you finish. As soon as you said who's the worst, it was gonna be him. But I was trying to be polite and let you finish. But yeah, Ari Spears, by far, hands and away, the worst fucking celebrity I've ever met in my life.
What'd he do?
He okay, so I was working at the club. This is New Year's. Nothing's open. They wanted to get something to eat. So they were like, hey, would you mind? Like, I was kind of the pick up the guy and take him to the airport type guy for the club. So my car was a 96 Ford Taurus that I paid $1 for. It was a piece of shit, right? I should have took somebody else's car, but they were like, let's run over to this White Castle. It's open 24/7. So I take him to White Castle. I'm thinking we're going to go through the drive-thru. These motherfuckers, Ari Spears and his Gerard Guillory, these motherfuckers go in, sit down, and eat for 45 fucking minutes. In fucking January, freezing cold. I'm in my car, burning gas to keep the heat on. And they're just in there eating. Didn't bring me a slider, not a chicken ring, fucking nothing. No thank you, no tip, nothing, right? So Gerard left his fucking DVDs that he was selling in the trunk of my car. And of course, these guys were shitty to me. And so Gerard was like, hey, can you guys mail back those DVDs? I was like, what fucking DVDs? I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, nah, I put them in your car. Remember? I was like, I don't remember shit. I remember your ass sat at White Castle for 45 motherfucking minutes while I was out there freezing and y'all ain't bringing a nigga nothing. I remember that though. He's like, nah, man, I need you to mail me my DVDs. I say, here's what I want you to do. Call Ray's Trash and ask them if they got your motherfucking DVDs. Because I tossed them bitches. Fuck you. Yeah. It's like, you don't treat people like that. You know what I mean? He walked around like he was the king goat. And it's like, dude, Mad TV was 15 years ago. You ain't done shit since.
Dude, he looks like he's got pork stuck in his neck. I do not like Ari Spears.
I can't stand him.
He's a bitch.
He's a dick for no reason. That shit he pulled with Lizzo and now is biting him in the ass with the fucking pedophile sketch. It's like, you started that because you were being a dick for no reason. No one would have ever known you did a shitty pedophile sketch with Tiffany Haddish had you not been an asshole to Lizzo when he asked you about the music and you talked about her weight. It's like, you didn't have to do that.
Dollar General Charles Barkley impersonator.
Yeah, fuck out of here. He's got 4 impressions that he's milked for the past 20 years. It's like, bro, Jay Farrell is making you look like a bitch right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fuck
you.
Ari
Have anything bad to say about? You've been silent.
I mean, I don't know.
You like Ari Spears?
Yeah.
Oh, he's always gassing him up when I'm around.
He's like, have you heard of this Ari guy?
It smells like peas.
He's not talking about peas.
He makes a great lobster and pea bisque. He sprinkles on his comedy flavors.
He looks like he fucking loves peas, that motherfucker.
Dude, he looks like he's having an allergic reaction to air. I hate this guy.
You drop a beat for me, Zach. Deon Curry, thank you so much for being on the program today.
Absolutely.
Where can people find you and follow you on social media, everything you're doing?
All my social media is the same. It's Bright Fame 4, BRIGHTFAME, the number 4. I did not pick it. Deon Curry was already chosen, so save your shitty comments for when you DM me. Well, you think you're fucking famous with your goddamn Bright in the fame? Like, I didn't pick it. It's just it was a nickname my friend had for me when we looked up our names, what they meant in this fucking word book. So my name means Bright Fame.
Nice.
So that's what it is. Nice. Bright Fame 4. 4 is my favorite number. All social media, Twitter, Instagram, Xbox, whatever.
Nice. That is Jay.
Oh, I'm next.
You're next.
You know what? I just want to my Ari Spears hate page. It is down right now. We're trying to work to get the money to get it back up. We have all the jokes about Ari Spears. We call it Mad TV. We're changing the name. It's in work in progress. Go ahead. Bye.
You can find me at Zach_Roan on all social media.
Check out our website, www.harderbrunch.com, because that's how you get on the internet these days, right? You always go to www.harderbrunch.com. We got all our merch and all our fun stuff there. We're also going to have an event coming up October 2nd. We're going to be doing another takeover. Yeah, that's right, Zach. We're doing another takeover.
What did you call it again?
It's going to be Bingo Brunch.
Oh, okay.
Bingo Brunch at Gomez Barbecue. We're going to be doing a takeover. We're going to be doing a little bingo. We're going to be doing a little brunch. Come by. He's got a two-way liquor license, guys, so we can make it fun.
Yeah, and this is not just for geezers. This is for millennials, Gen Z. If you have a wheelchair or whatever.
Lucas.
Yeah, pea eaters.
Who said Lucas?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad that was you. I was like,
I thought it was me for a second.
well, yeah.
Shout out to Lucas. That's
Shout
my
out to
dog.
Lucas for having a wheelchair.
I love bingo too, by the way, so I might stop by.
Yeah, no, I don't think bingo's popping. I think Gen Z's about bingo. I think everybody's
Man, if
about
you ain't
bingo.
about bingo, you missing out.
That's
That's
right.
That's real gambling right
That's-
there. Seeing people spend their Social Security checks on some pull tabs, motherfucker. Yes.
Okay.
Every Friday night.
You gonna come? You gonna come and play some bingo with us
Hell
on
yeah.
October 2nd?
I love bingo. I might bring a friend.
Hell yeah! All right, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.